Tens of thousands of dollars for something that wasn't even made where they said it was. People are heated. And it's not just regular shoppers, fashion insiders, TikTok sleuths, and loud-mouthed influencers are going all in, tearing the luxury world to This whole thing is spinning out of control. The ES boutique price tag? A wild $38,000 for one bag. But here's the real tea. What does it actually cost to make one straight out of the factory? Let's break it all down, step by step. First off, ES doesn't mess around. They only use leather from 3 high-end suppliers: UTI from Italy, HAI Mill from Germany, and US from France. Just one piece of Togo leather. Yeah, the same type used in that $38,000 bag goes for $450. That's it. Just $450. Now brace yourself, because Megyn Kelly just exposed what might be the most humiliating scandal Louis Vuitton has ever faced. She says Chinese factories didn't just walk away from the brand. They straight up torched the bridge on their way out. And no, it wasn't about cash, contracts, or the usual supply chain drama. This one's personal. According to Megyn, those factories weren't just chilling, they were watching, remembering, and waiting. Quietly collecting receipts for years, building up the heat. And when the time was right, boom, they struck back. Hard. And don't get it twisted, that $450 leather only makes one bag. Just one. Now let's talk thread. ES uses the absolute best, called fil au chinois from France. This thread is like the Rolls-Royce of sewing materials. It costs $25 for each bag. Nothing cheap here. Then there's the hardware. Oh yeah, that sleek metal isn't just for show. It's called 316 hardware, also known as ocean stainless steel, built to last, saltwater, and all. But here's where it gets real messy. Those manufacturers say they've been ignored, underpaid, and straight up disrespected, even though they're the ones actually crafting these so-called luxury goods. And here's where it gets straight up wild. The final straw? These manufacturers say they were blamed for bad quality, when it wasn't even their fault. Meanwhile, Louis Vuitton kept slapping on those shiny Made in France labels on stuff that had never even been near France. That's not just shady, that's next-level fake. But they didn't just take the hit and move on. Nope, they came back swinging, full exposure mode. According to Megyn Kelly, the factories spilled it all. We're talking fake labels, secret backdoor deals, hush-hush partnerships, the kind of stuff no one was ever supposed to hear about. Now it's all blowing up. And this isn't just messing with their supply chain. This is tearing down Louis Vuitton's whole identity. If the brand isn't really about that legendary French craftsmanship and luxe quality, then what even is it anymore? This isn't a minor PR mess. This is a straight-up identity meltdown. The damage, huge. Think red carpets, celebrity endorsements, influencers flaunting their LV bags like trophies. All of it starting to fall apart in plain sight. And if even half of what Megyn Kelly said is true, then we might be witnessing the start of Louis Vuitton's downfall. For real. Let's rewind a bit. LV sold us a fantasy that every purse, wallet, and keychain was born in a soft-lit Parisian studio. Hand-stitched by master artisans, surrounded by old-world charm and luxury. But now, that whole dream's looking more like smoke and mirrors. Megyn's not sugarcoating anything. She says the whole Louis Vuitton story? A super expensive illusion, totally fake. According to her, the real birthplace of these luxury goods wasn't some romantic French workshop. It was China, behind closed factory doors. For years, these Chinese manufacturers were handling everything, from raw materials to stitching, all the way to packaging. Start to finish, every single piece went through their hands. The only thing they didn't do? Slap on that Made in France tag. That part came after, like the final sprinkle of the lie. And now it gets seriously shady. These factories, they didn't get one drop of credit. No press mentions, no ads, not even a tiny footnote. Just erased, like ghosts, used up, tossed aside, hidden like a dirty secret Louis Vuitton never wanted exposed. Kelly even claims the pay was laughable, next to nothing. Meanwhile, the brand was slapping 1,000% markups on bags and calling it luxury. And when customers started noticing problems, crooked stitching, off-color canvas, messed up zippers, guess who took the fall? Those same factories. The ones Louis Vuitton was secretly depending on to keep up with global demand. That's not just shady business. That's betrayal on a whole different level. It crushes the whole idea of what luxury is supposed to be. And Megan, she says that illusion is over, dead in the water. This wasn't just some random strike or walkout. According to her, it was cold, planned, and surgical. These manufacturers didn't just dip out. They waited, they watched, and when the time was right, they hit the brand where it hurt the most. They waited, silent, patient, just watching until the perfect moment to strike. Insiders say these factories were secretly building a digital arsenal, a full-on data war chest. We're talking screenshots, email chains, payment records, shipping manifests, even private text convos with procurement teams. They had the receipts. And according to Megyn Kelly, some of these documents prove Louis Vuitton knew exactly where their products were really being made and still kept up the front. Then, boom, they dropped the hammer. Kelly says this takedown wasn't random. It was planned with sniper precision. The shutdown hit right before Louis Vuitton's big Fashion Week reveal. The mission? Total chaos. Maximum exposure. They knew the spotlight would be blazing. Cameras ready. Headlines waiting. The whole world watching. And just like that, everything flipped. Influencers were prepped to post. Stores were loaded for the next wave of LV hype. Then, silence. The plug got pulled. Not a slowdown, a full-stop ambush. One insider didn't even call it a boycott. They called it a fashion assassination, a move designed to destroy way more than supply chains. The target? Louis Vuitton's entire image, the myth of ultimate luxury and French superiority, crushed under the weight of cold facts and leaked receipts. And while the truth was dropping like bombs, let's not forget the actual bag costs. That 316 stainless steel hardware, $150 per piece, and the edge oil, a premium seal imported from Italy, that's another $50 per bag. Yeah, they were sparing no expense in parts, but when it came to the hands making it, that's where things got dirty. Inside these bags, the lining is made of real lambskin, imported straight from overseas. Each one costs about $100 just for that soft interior. And don't forget the zipper. It's from a rebrand supplier, and even that tiny piece runs $10 per bag. But this whole drama? It's way bigger than materials or costs. This wasn't just about halting production. It was about ripping the mask all the way off, exposing what's really been happening behind all those glossy magazine covers and red carpet ads. And guess what? It's working. Reports are flooding in. Some Louis Vuitton stores in major hotspots are completely empty. Back orders are frozen. Buyers are freaking out. And TikTok? It's packed with videos showing people calling out messy stitching, cheap-feeling material, broken zippers, the kind of stuff that's never supposed to happen with luxury. That picture-perfect rep? It's cracking. Fast. And as Megyn Kelly said it herself, they didn't just lose a factory. They lost the illusion. And when this story blew up, it didn't just rattle fashion fans, it rocked Hollywood. Within days, the whispers turned loud. A-list celebs started jumping ship from their Louis Vuitton deals. Quiet cancellations, outfit changes at the last second, planned Instagram drops, just gone. Then the real bomb dropped. Most of them are made in China, and most of them are made in our factory. That's what insiders are claiming. But why don't luxury brands ever admit it? Because they're trying to sell you this fantasy that their stuff comes from fancy European cities like Paris or Milan. But now, that fantasy's crashing hard. What started as a PR headache turned into a full-blown celebrity detox.